Most people think stubborn belly fat is a sign that they're eating too much, that they don't have enough willpower, or that their metabolism is just slow. And when they try to fix it, they go straight to extremes, cutting out entire food groups, starving themselves with long fasts, or pushing through workouts that leave them exhausted but not any leaner. But what if the real problem isn't any of that? What if the real issue starts with one quiet, hidden process inside your body? Your insulin signaling. Insulin is not the enemy. It's a hormone your body needs for survival. But when insulin stays high for too long, your body essentially gets stuck in fat storage mode. And no amount of dieting or discipline can override that. It's like having one foot on the gas and the other on the brakes. You're trying to burn fat, but your body simply can't access it. This is why so many people feel frustrated. They're working hard, but their biology isn't cooperating. The good news is that their asterisk is asterisk, one powerful science-backed insulin-regulating trick that can unlock rapid, natural fat burning without going keto, without starving yourself, and without spending hours in the gym. When you address insulin the right way, your metabolism becomes flexible again. Your body starts accessing stored energy more easily, cravings calm down, energy becomes more stable, and fat loss finally feels possible instead of impossible. You don't have to fight your body, you just have to understand what's blocking your fat burning switch and how to turn it back on. In this video, I'll show you exactly how that works so you can stop struggling and start seeing real change. What's the biggest challenge you've faced with fat loss? Tell me in the comments. Imagine your body as a house, and inside that house is a room where all your stored fat is kept. Insulin is like the doorkeeper of that room. It decides when fat can leave to be used for energy and when it needs to stay locked inside for later. When insulin is balanced, the doorkeeper knows exactly when to open the door, letting your body burn stored fat efficiently. But when insulin signaling gets disrupted, it's like the doorkeeper is confused or stuck, keeping the door closed even when your body is ready and willing to use the fat. This is why some people can eat perfectly and exercise consistently, but still see little progress on the scale or in their belly area. It's not a matter of willpower or laziness. It's a matter of biology that's working against them without them even realizing it. Insulin's main job is to manage blood sugar, but that's only part of the story. When you eat, especially carbohydrates, insulin rises to move glucose from your blood into your cells where it can be used for energy. Any glucose your cells don't need right away gets stored, and insulin signals the body to convert some of that extra energy into fat. When insulin is consistently elevated, it sends a constant store fat signal to your body while simultaneously blocking the release of stored fat. Think of it like a traffic light that's stuck on red. Your fat can't exit the storage room no matter how much you want it to. Disrupted insulin signaling can happen for many reasons, including chronic stress, poor sleep, hormonal imbalances, and repeated spikes in blood sugar from highly processed foods. Even someone who eats clean can experience insulin resistance if these underlying factors are present. Your body might be trying to do the right thing, but it's still being told to hold onto fat. The frustration people feel is real, but it's important to recognize that it's not a failure of character. It's a signal from the body that something biological needs support. Visualizing insulin as a gatekeeper helps make sense of why traditional dieting and exercise often feel like they're not enough. You might be exercising daily, eating balanced meals, and getting enough protein, but if insulin is stuck in a high or misfiring state, your body simply can't access its fat stores efficiently. By framing the struggle in this way, it's easier to respond with compassion for yourself. Your biology isn't betraying you. It's just waiting for the right signals to operate properly. The goal, then, is not to punish yourself with stricter rules or more intense workouts. The goal is to work asterisk with asterisk your biology, supporting insulin function so the fat storage gatekeeper can start doing its job correctly. When you understand insulin's role, the picture becomes clear. Your struggles are not a reflection of weakness or lack of effort. They're a sign that your body is asking for guidance and support to restore balance. Approaching fat loss with this mindset transforms frustration into strategy and discipline into informed action. You're not failing. You're simply learning the language of your own biology and giving your body what it actually needs to finally unlock stubborn belly fat. Many people don't realize how quietly insulin dysfunction can take over their daily lives. It doesn't always arrive with dramatic symptoms, and often it's easy to dismiss what's happening as normal stress, aging, or just bad habits. You might notice that after a balanced breakfast, you're suddenly craving a snack an hour later. Or maybe you feel a wave of fatigue in the afternoon that makes it almost impossible to focus at work, even though you've had enough sleep. You might find that your belly seems stubbornly resistant to change, no matter how much you exercise or how cleanly you eat. These little signs are not random. They are whispers from your body that insulin isn't working the way it should. When insulin signaling is off, your body stays in fat storage mode more often than it should. That means energy that could be used is instead locked away, and your brain interprets the lack of available energy as a signal to eat more. Those sudden cravings aren't a failure of willpower. They're a biological push from your body trying to get the energy it can't access. You might notice patterns, a desire for quick sugars after meals, snacking late at night, or feeling restless and irritable around mealtimes. These patterns often get written off as bad habits, but in reality, they are the body signaling that its insulin system is struggling to keep balance. Fatigue is another common sign. When insulin isn't regulating blood sugar efficiently, the body experiences dips in energy. You might feel like you've hit a wall mid-afternoon, needing caffeine or snacks to get through the day. This roller coaster of energy can make it feel impossible to maintain consistent exercise or to resist unhealthy foods, reinforcing the cycle of storage and craving. Many people chalk it up to just being busy or not having enough discipline. But the underlying cause is biological. Even more frustrating is the way this hidden problem affects weight loss. People often follow all the conventional advice. They eat smaller portions, track macros, and move their bodies regularly, yet the scale barely shifts. Stubborn belly fat clings to them, and it feels personal, but it's not. The body is simply prioritizing energy storage because the insulin system is sending the wrong messages. Recognizing this is the first step toward change. Being observant about your daily experiences can reveal clues. Notice when cravings hit, when energy dips occur, and how your body responds to different meals. These observations help you see the hidden pattern. Insulin is the silent controller keeping your fat locked away, and until it's addressed, the usual methods of dieting and exercise will feel like swimming against the current. Understanding these subtle signs is empowering because it shows that the struggle isn't about weakness or lack of effort. It's about biology asking for a different approach that finally allows fat to be released naturally and consistently. The core trick for regulating insulin is surprisingly simple, yet incredibly powerful because it works with the body's natural rhythms instead of against them. At its heart, this approach focuses on signaling the body that it can safely release stored energy, which is exactly what stubborn belly fat has been waiting for. Rather than cutting out entire food groups or drastically restricting calories, this method leverages timing, food choices, and subtle behavioral shifts to improve insulin sensitivity and restore metabolic balance. Think of it as giving your fat storage gatekeeper clear instructions that it can finally let go of the energy it has been holding. One of the most important aspects of this trick is how it gently trains your body to respond appropriately to insulin. When insulin spikes are moderated, your cells become more receptive to glucose, and the constant store fat signal begins to ease. This doesn't happen overnight, but over time, your body starts operating more efficiently. Fat can leave storage when needed, blood sugar stabilizes, and energy levels become more predictable. People often notice that cravings diminish naturally without forceful willpower, and they feel less of the afternoon crash that used to derail their productivity. This is because the body now has access to a steady supply of energy rather than being in a state of constant storage and release. A practical example of how this works can be seen in how meals are structured. Instead of skipping meals or fasting for long periods, this trick emphasizes nutrient-dense foods that are balanced in protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates, eaten in a pattern that supports stable insulin levels. For instance, starting the day with a protein-rich breakfast alongside some healthy fats signals to the body that energy is available, reducing the tendency for glucose spikes later. Pairing meals with fiber-rich vegetables and moderate portions of slowed, digesting carbs prevents rapid insulin surges, which are the main culprit behind fat storage and cravings. Over time, your body learns that it doesn't need to hang onto excess fat for energy, because energy supply is steady and reliable physiologically. This approach reduces the chronic elevation of insulin that keeps fat trapped, improves cellular sensitivity to glucose, and enhances metabolic flexibility, the body's ability to switch between burning carbohydrates and fat efficiently. As a result, stored fat becomes more accessible, energy steadies, and the brain receives proper signals that reduce the drive to overeat or snack unnecessarily. Unlike extreme dieting or restrictive fasting, this method is sustainable because it works with the body's natural processes instead of forcing an artificial state of deprivation. You're not tricking the body, you're guiding it. The effectiveness of this insulin-regulating trick lies in its combination of science and simplicity. It addresses the root cause of stubborn fat rather than just the symptoms, and it creates a foundation for long-term results without stress or burnout. People who implement it often report smoother energy throughout the day, reduced cravings, and consistent progress in belly fat reduction. By focusing on restoring proper insulin function, the body is finally able to do what it was always designed to do: release stored fat, fuel activity, and maintain balance naturally. This approach is gentle, evidence-based, and transformative, showing that when insulin is supported correctly, fat loss can become a steady, predictable, and surprisingly effortless process. Implementing this insulin-regulating method doesn't require extreme measures or complicated plans. It's about making small, consistent adjustments that support your body's natural rhythm. Start by paying attention to how meals are timed throughout the day. Rather than skipping breakfast or waiting too long between meals, aim to provide your body with regular, balanced nourishment that keeps blood sugar stable. A protein-rich breakfast combined with healthy fats and a small portion of slowed, digesting carbohydrates sets the tone for balanced insulin activity and helps prevent the mid-morning energy crash that often triggers cravings. Structuring meals this way communicates to your body that energy is available and safe to use, reducing the need for it to cling to stored fat. Next, focus on nutrient sequencing, which is a simple yet powerful way to optimize insulin response. Begin meals with fiber-rich vegetables or salads, followed by protein, then carbohydrates. This order slows the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream, preventing sudden spikes in insulin and keeping energy levels steady. Incorporating healthy fats such as avocado, nuts, or olive oil can further stabilize blood sugar and prolong satiety. Over time, these small adjustments allow your body to learn how to process nutrients efficiently, signaling that stored fat can now be accessed without triggering stress responses or cravings. Supporting routines outside of meals are equally important. Prioritize sleep because inadequate rest can disrupt insulin sensitivity and increase fat storage. Gentle movement, like walking after meals, yoga, or light resistance training, enhances glucose uptake in muscles, helping reduce the demand on insulin. Stress management is another key factor. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which can worsen insulin dysfunction. Simple practices like deep breathing, short mindfulness sessions, or even just stepping outside for a few minutes can make a noticeable difference in supporting your body's ability to regulate fat. It's crucial to approach this method with a mindset of flexibility rather than perfection. You don't need to get every detail exactly right to see results. Small, consistent steps, like adjusting meal order, including balanced macronutrients, and incorporating gentle activity, add up over time. Tracking patterns in energy, cravings, and mood can help you fine-tune your approach and recognize what supports your insulin function best. The goal is gradual improvement rather than instant transformation, because sustainable change is built on habits that are realistic and maintainable. Remember, the body responds to signals, not punishments. By consistently signaling stability through thoughtful meals, supportive routines, and manageable habit shifts, your insulin system begins to function more effectively. This naturally unlocks fat stores, stabilizes energy, and reduces cravings. Each small choice compounds into significant results, helping your body regain metabolic flexibility and finally allowing stored belly fat to be used as fuel. The process is gentle, practical, and deeply empowering, showing that lasting fat loss comes from working with your biology rather than against it. When insulin finally stabilizes, the changes inside your body are both subtle and profound, working together to create an environment where fat can finally be used as fuel. Imagine your body as a warehouse where energy is stored in different rooms. For a long time, the door to the fat storage room was stuck closed because insulin was constantly signaling, "Do not release." Once insulin levels come down and signaling improves, that door slowly begins to open, allowing stored energy to flow out and be used for daily activities, exercise, and even just maintaining normal bodily functions. This shift is what it feels like to move from fat storage mode into fat burning mode, and the effects ripple across multiple systems in your body. One of the first changes people notice is steadier energy. Previously, blood sugar would spike after meals and crash soon after, leaving you feeling tired, irritable, or reaching for snacks. As insulin stabilizes, glucose moves into cells more efficiently, and the body can access stored fat for fuel when immediate energy isn't available. This creates a much smoother, more predictable flow of energy throughout the day. Cravings that once seemed unavoidable start to diminish because your body no longer feels the urgent need to refill what it perceives as a depleted energy supply at the cellular level. Improved insulin signaling reduces internal inflammation. High insulin often triggers inflammatory responses, which can make fat release even more difficult and interfere with hormonal balance. As insulin stabilizes, inflammation decreases, allowing cells to function more efficiently. Fat cells become more responsive, muscles take up glucose more effectively, and the liver can process nutrients without overloading your system. This internal recalibration enhances metabolic flexibility, the ability to seamlessly switch between burning carbohydrates for immediate energy and mobilizing fat for sustained fuel. You're essentially teaching your body that it can confidently draw from its stored resources without triggering stress or panic responses. The visual and physical results often follow these internal shifts. Belly fat, which stubbornly clung to the midsection, begins to release because the signals keeping it locked away are no longer dominant. Energy feels lighter and more sustainable, workouts feel more productive, and even everyday tasks require less effort because the body has access to multiple fuel sources. You may notice reduced bloating, steadier mood, and better sleep quality, all of which reinforce the body's ability to maintain stable insulin levels and continue burning fat efficiently. This transition also affects hunger and satiety cues. When insulin was misfiring, the brain received mixed messages, often interpreting signals as urgent hunger. Once insulin stabilizes, these signals normalize, making it easier to feel satisfied after meals and resist unnecessary snacking. It's a powerful combination. Your body has the energy it needs, fat is accessible as fuel, and appetite cues are aligned with actual energy requirements overall. The stabilization of insulin sets off a cascade of beneficial changes. Fat cells that were once resistant to release now give up stored energy. Energy levels smooth out, inflammation drops, and metabolic flexibility improves. The body becomes a more efficient, harmonious system where stored fat is no longer trapped, cravings lessen, and the natural rhythm of energy and hunger is restored. Experiencing these shifts is both motivating and reassuring because you can see and feel the results of working with your biology rather than against it. This is how rapid, sustainable belly fat release happens naturally, without extremes or deprivation, simply by supporting the body's most important hormonal gatekeeper, creating an insulin. Friendly lifestyle is about building habits that consistently support your body's natural rhythm, rather than relying on short-term, extreme fixes. One of the first pillars is sleep. Quality rest allows insulin and other hormones to regulate properly, and even one poor night can make fat storage signals stronger the next day. Establishing a consistent sleep schedule, going to bed and waking up around the same time each day, helps your body anticipate energy needs and maintain balanced blood sugar. Simple adjustments like keeping electronics out of the bedroom, dimming lights before sleep, and prioritizing 7-9 hours of rest can make a significant difference in insulin function over time. Stress management is another essential component. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which interacts with insulin and can worsen fat storage, especially around the belly. Gentle daily practices like deep breathing, short meditation sessions, or light stretching can reduce stress and improve the body's hormonal balance. Even small actions, such as taking a walk during a break or practicing gratitude, send a message to your body that it is safe, which allows insulin to work more efficiently and signals fat stores that it's okay to release energy. Movement throughout the day also supports insulin function. You don't need to engage in grueling workouts. Consistent, moderate activity is highly effective. Walking after meals, light resistance training, yoga, or short bursts of movement spread throughout the day improve glucose uptake in muscles and reduce the pressure on insulin. Over time, this not only helps your body burn more fat, but also strengthens metabolic flexibility, allowing you to seamlessly switch between using glucose and stored fat, as fuel-meal balance remains a cornerstone of this lifestyle. Structuring meals to include a combination of protein, healthy fats, fiber-rich vegetables, and slowed digesting carbohydrates helps maintain stable blood sugar and prevents insulin spikes. Paying attention to portion sizes and the order in which foods are consumed, vegetables first, then protein, then carbs, can subtly but effectively guide insulin function. Hydration is often overlooked, but drinking water consistently throughout the day supports digestion, metabolism, and hormone function, contributing to more stable insulin levels. Daily rhythms extend beyond sleep and meals. Regular routines like consistent wake times, movement habits, and meal schedules train your body to anticipate energy needs, which reduces erratic insulin responses. Small, realistic adjustments are more sustainable than trying to overhaul everything at once. The goal is not perfection, but a gentle, consistent pattern that supports long-term metabolic health by integrating these practices, prioritizing sleep, managing stress, staying active, structuring meals mindfully, and creating stable daily rhythms. You gradually build an environment where insulin functions optimally, fat burning becomes natural, cravings diminish, energy stabilizes, and your body can maintain metabolic balance without extreme sacrifices. The beauty of this approach is that it's sustainable. Each small, positive choice compounds over time, reinforcing the body's ability to access stored fat and maintain long-term health. With patience and consistency, this insulin-friendly lifestyle transforms the way your body functions, making fat loss feel effortless and stable while promoting overall vitality and well-being.